the legendary journey of an icon and her enduring legacy in world cinema. From the most humble beginnings in her native Italy, Sophia Loren would blossom on the world stage as one of the most beautiful and talented actresses cinema has ever known. Her career has spanned more than 60 years with performances in a diverse catalog of films, including The Pride and the Passion, Houseboat, Marriage Italian Style, Grumpier Old Men, and Two Women, La Chiara, for which she received the first Academy Award for Best Actress ever given to the star of a foreign language film. At the age of 90, the harsh realities of aging have impacted this star of Hollywood's golden age. Discover the final chapter of Sophia Loren's remarkable story, from being a goddess of the silver screen to the unfortunate event that led to her recent hospitalization. Let us explore the tragic fate of one of the last remaining actresses of Hollywood's golden age in her final days. Sophia's life has been a series of highs and lows since the day she was born. The experience of hunger and the hardships faced during the war forged a Sophia Loren with unwavering determination and an incessant drive, surviving the shadows of war and the struggles of a difficult childhood. The difficult beginnings of Sophia occurred long before Loren dazzled moviegoers as an icon of beauty. She endured severe hunger and homelessness as a child during the devastation of Naples during the Second World War. Sophia Loren was born Sophia Villani Ciccolone in 1934 in a sordid Roman charity ward. As the illegitimate child of a struggling family, her early years were marked by crushing poverty and the devastation of World War II, which Loren describes as a period of misery, fear, and hunger. As bombs rained down on her hometown of Pozzuoli and rations became scarce, the young Sophia endured periods of famine that delayed her growth into the curvaceous beauty she was destined to become. She now recognizes with her legendary grace that there was a great deal of suffering, and simply getting through each day was a major accomplishment in those uncertain times. The frail and thin girl bore little resemblance to the voluptuous star who would emerge in only a few short years. With an absent father who refused to support them, Sophia's family struggled to make ends meet. Her grandmother transformed their living room into a pub where Loren's mother played the piano, and her aunt sang traditional Neapolitan songs to entertain the American GIs who frequented the establishment. Too young to serve alcohol, the shy Sophia served tables and washed dishes, marking her first humble contact with the world of performance. The meteoric rise to the silver screen and international stardom, Loren blossomed into a teenager with broad shoulders and a budding chest, possessing an undeniable beauty. At only 15 years old, she participated in the Miss Italia contest under the name Sophia Lazzaro, a young girl with dreams of a life far removed from the rubble and ruins of the war. Although she did not win the crown, the young Sophia attracted attention for her elegance and presence. She quickly enrolled in acting classes, obtaining small roles in cinema under the stage name given to her by the producer Carlo Ponti, who took an interest in shaping the young aspirant into a star. After playing minor roles in films like Quo Vadis, Sophia Loren experienced her breakthrough in 1954 with her acclaimed performance in The Gold of Naples. That same year marked the beginning of her partnership with the seductive leading man, Marcello Mastroianni, in Too Bad She's Bad. Over the following years, she starred in numerous Italian films, embodying seductive, sexually confident women who were masters of their own destiny, a far cry from the poverty and helplessness she had endured as a child. In 1957, Loren was also gaining ground in Hollywood, appearing alongside great stars like Cary Grant, Frank Sinatra, and John Wayne. As she consolidated her image as an international sex symbol, Loren's heartbreaking performance in Two Women, La Chiara, marked the peak of her early career. As a widowed mother protecting her teenage daughter in war-torn Italy, she delivered a down-to-earth and unglamorous performance that earned her the Oscar for Best Actress in 1962, the first for a role in a non-English language. After a youth spent dodging bombs and suffering from hunger through the devastation of the war, 25 years later, Loren stood with tear-filled eyes on the Oscar stage, clutching the golden statuette that cemented her improbable ascent to the summit of acting achievement. From poverty to the peak of international fame at the age of 30, Loren achieved a meteoric rise fueled by talent, determination, breathtaking beauty, and an implacable will to survive, defining a cinematic era through iconic performances and Hollywood blockbusters. Even as she enjoyed the glory and increasing fortune, Loren's greatest successes were still to come. Let us take a look at her iconic and sometimes controversial roles. In 1961, she played alongside Charlton Heston in El Cid, consolidating her status as an international star. The director Anthony Mann stated that Loren brought an authentic warmth and glamour to the role of Ximena. That same year, she starred in Two Women, La Chochiara, by Vittorio De Sica, interpreting a mother trying to protect her daughter during the Second World War. Her raw and emotional performance earned her the Oscar for Best Actress. In the mid-1960s, Loren continued to balance Hollywood blockbusters with acclaimed international films. In 1965, in Lady L, she played the charming and manipulative role of the widow of an elderly aristocrat alongside Paul Newman. Although different from her previous roles, Loren brought complexity and intrigue to the character. At the end of the 1960s, Loren played alongside some of the most prominent men in Hollywood, such as Gregory Peck in Arabesque and Marlon Brando in A Countess from Hong Kong by Charlie Chaplin. Despite the power of the stars behind these films, critics felt that the roles did not fully capture Loren's talents. Loren spent a large part of the 1970s focused on motherhood while continuing to make high-quality films. She received good reviews for Sunflower, which was nominated for an Oscar, and her final collaboration with De Sica, The Voyage, in 1974. That same year, she played in Brief Encounter, a remake of the beloved classic presented in the Hallmark Hall of Fame on NBC. The television film allowed Loren to show her romantic vulnerability to a wider American audience. In 1976, Loren played a memorable supporting role in the star-studded disaster thriller The Cassandra Crossing. Although it was not the lead role, Loren's sophisticated elegance made an impression on the public. In 1977, Loren found herself reunited with Marcello Mastroianni in A Special Day by Ettore Scola. Loren embodies a lonely housewife who has a fateful encounter with Mastroianni's character. Her subtle and moving performance earned Loren her 7th David di Donatello Award and several international honors. The film was a success at the American box office, indicating Loren's enduring popularity with the American public. Despite a lower number of roles, Loren maintained her first-class status thanks to performances acclaimed by critics and intelligent collaborations with legendary directors like De Sica and Scola. Love, scandals, and the complex relationships of her personal life. Entering the 1980s and 1990s, Loren was very selective regarding her projects, focusing more on her family and her businesses. She received a Golden Globe nomination for her supporting role in Prêt-à-Porter. Her greatest commercial success in years came with Grumpier Old Men in 1995, alongside screen legends Walter Matthau, Jack Lemmon, and Anne Margaret. Loren continued to work sporadically in films like Between Strangers, directed by her son Eduardo Ponti. In 2009, Loren returned to Hollywood cinema after an absence of 15 years with Nine by Rob Marshall. In the role of the mother of Guido Contini, Loren reminded the public of her legendary presence on screen, receiving a nomination at the Screen Actors Guild Awards for her supporting role. Despite being nearly 90 years old, she shows no sign of slowing down. In 2020, she delivered a performance acclaimed by critics in the film by her son, Eduardo, The Life Ahead, as a Holocaust survivor taking care of a young immigrant boy. The role earned Loren some of the best reviews of her 6-decade career. From Italian neorealism to Hollywood blockbusters and intimate international dramas, few performers can rival the versatility, longevity, and cultural impact of Loren. Loren is one of the great stars of the golden age of Hollywood, with a legacy both as a sex symbol and a talented actress. Her personal life has always been a subject of public interest. Naturally, one of the hottest subjects at the time was the love stories of Sophia Loren and the tumultuous relationships in her personal life. The prolific acting career of Loren made her a legend of Italian and Hollywood cinema. However, while Loren embodied passionate romances for the public, the scandal and controversy caused by her own love life will leave you speechless. When Sophia Loren met Carlo Ponti in 1950, it was the beginning of a real-life romantic fairy tale. Despite their age difference of 22 years, the teenage Sophia was instantly attracted to the 37-year-old successful producer. According to Sophia, Carlo gave her an anchor and stability that kept her feet on the ground, despite her meteoric rise toward fame. However, their path toward love was filled with obstacles. As divorce was illegal in Italy at the time, Carlo was still married to Giuliana Ponti when he fell in love with Sophia. Tirelessly, the couple married by proxy in Mexico in 1957, but they were soon confronted with accusations of bigamy at home, forcing them to annul their marriage in 1962. Always devoted to one another, Sophia and Carlo became French citizens in 1965 and finally married legally in 1966 after he obtained a divorce from Giuliana. In the Italian press, Sophia was labeled a homewrecker for her relationship with the married Ponti. Even the Italian government attacked the couple in the 1970s, seizing many of their assets for trumped-up tax fraud charges, forcing them into temporary exile. Despite everything, Sophia remained faithful to Carlo, affirming that they were a team and a solid couple. After overcoming numerous legal and social obstacles for 2 decades, they settled down and raised 2 sons, Carlo Ponti Jr. and Eduardo Ponti. Sophia was devastated when Carlo passed away in 2007 after nearly 50 years together. She writes that it astonishes her to see everything that has happened in her life. When she thinks back, she is sometimes surprised it all actually happened. In addition to her great love with Carlo, Sophia formed close friendships and links with many of her partners over the years. She remembers with joy the memories of cooking traditional Italian meals with Omar Sharif between takes on films like The Fall of the Roman Empire. She also developed an inseparable friendship with Marcello Mastroianni over the course of 12 memorable collaborations. And while she was filming The Pride and the Passion in 1957, Sophia admits to having fallen under the charm of the dashing Cary Grant, who pursued her relentlessly. She reflected by saying that she knew her place was at Carlo's side. He was her safe harbor. She also knew that it was difficult to resist the magnetism of a man like Cary, who said he was ready to abandon everything for her. However, Sophia finally chose loyalty to Ponti rather than a future with Grant. When the Hollywood press revealed that Ponti and Loren had married in Mexico, Grant accepted Sophia's decision with grace. As she recounts, on the set, Cary, slightly dazed and finally resigned, reacted in a truly gentlemanly manner. He wished her all the best and hoped that she would be happy. Even after the end of their brief romance, Sophia seems to have perfected the art of ending relationships without bitterness. Similarly, her 1962 affair with comedian Peter Sellers also ended in a friendly manner. Yet, according to Sophia, Sellers remained infatuated with her for years. Indeed, Sophia writes that she learned to allow men to fall in love with her on screen without losing her own heart. She affirms that she allowed them to fall in love with her, but she never fell in love with them, Grant being the only exception. Although adored by many leading men over the decades, Sophia paints less affectionate portraits of her collaboration with Marlon Brando and Gregory Peck. She accuses Brando of lacking respect toward the legendary Charlie Chaplin on the set of A Countess from Hong Kong, and hints at a complicated dynamic with Peck on the set of Arabesque, indicating perhaps unshared feelings on his part. Off-screen projects, humanitarian work, and recent health challenges. In addition to her career as an actress, Sophia dedicated herself tirelessly to humanitarian causes, benefiting refugees and children, while being an anchor of stability and raising her 2 sons with Carlo away from the spotlight. However, she was also confronted with personal struggles, such as a conviction for tax fraud in the context of the Italian government's campaign against her and Ponti. She served a sentence of 18 days in prison in 1982 before being completely acquitted decades later. Regarding off-screen projects and semi-retirement, a few extremely unfortunate incidents occurred. However, before taking a look at these incidents, let us look at her off-screen projects. You see that although the enduring legacy of Sophia Loren is always her iconic roles in cinema, spanning more than 7 decades, she explored various ventures over the years beyond the silver screen. In the 1980s, at the peak of her global fame, Loren launched her own line of eyewear. The elegant frames were an instant success, mixing fashion and function for her legions of fans. She also wrote several cookbooks, including In the Kitchen with Sophia, sharing her precious Italian culinary heritage with readers from around the world. Although acting remained her primary passion, Loren considered her celebrity platform an opportunity to support humanitarian causes that were close to her heart. She became a fervent advocate for the well-being of children and initiatives to fight against poverty on a global scale. While she enchanted moviegoers with glamorous roles in films like Silent Movie by Mel Brooks and Marriage Italian Style, Loren dedicated an equal passion to her philanthropic work behind the scenes. As she entered her 70s and 80s, Loren became more selective in her acting projects, focusing on films with emotional depth and social impact. She returned to the big screen in the musical Nine in 2009, embodying the mother of Daniel Day-Lewis's character. The role recalled her first days on screen while allowing her to play a mature and attentive woman. Then in 2014, Loren captivated art house audiences with a small but powerful appearance in the Italian drama The Human Voice. The short film was directed by her son, Eduardo Ponti, reuniting their professional and personal worlds through the art of cinema. At 86 years old, she came out of a 10-year retirement to star in the Netflix film by Ponti, The Life Ahead. Loren plays Madame Rosa, a Holocaust survivor living in Italy who forms a poignant bond with Momo, a 12-year-old Senegalese immigrant boy. Loren seized the opportunity to play a woman who had endured deep suffering but continued to nourish those around her. The role demanded emotional authenticity as well as fluidity in Italian. While many actresses of her age retire from Hollywood, Loren is always ready to take on dramatic challenges. According to Ponti, Loren did well to risk everything to make a film so profound and so demanding, both emotionally and physically. He added that he was not at all surprised that his legendary mother was attracted to such a significant story so late in her career. Despite everything, Loren preserves her authentic warmth and her passion for creating art with a social impact. Although she continues to work, her approach to daily life nowadays is simple, taking advantage of time spent with her family and long, quiet walks, observing the beauty of nature around her adopted city of Geneva. She takes care of her garden, catches up on her reading, and makes video calls with her sister Maria in Italy. She says that the beauty of her grandchildren fills her with joy, although they remain far away in California. While she is a living legend who rubs shoulders with Sinatra and Grant, Loren remains grounded in relationships and the small daily pleasures of life. Regarding unfortunate incidents and recent events, after surviving the poverty of war-torn Naples during her childhood and reaching fame against all odds, it seemed that Sophia Loren had finally triumphed over fate, but in reality the worst was still to come in the face of aging and illness. In September 2023, barely a week after celebrating her 88th birthday, Loren suffered a devastating fall in her home in Geneva. She suffered multiple fractures, notably to the femur and the hip, which required immediate surgical intervention. It was a shocking event for her millions of fans worldwide who saw the vivacious Loren as a pillar of strength and resilience. Her recovery would be intensive given the gravity of the fractures. Touched by the multitude of well wishes, Loren released a statement thanking everyone for their love during this difficult chapter. The accident occurred shortly after Loren's dazzling appearance at the Venice International Film Festival during the Armani Privé fashion show. She captivated the crowd while dressed in an ivory pantsuit, exuding the Hollywood glamour of yesteryear. Few of her adoring fans realized that the icon was soon going to go through a grueling health crisis. Yet she faced the difficult recovery process with her usual courage and grace. Loren has faced daunting obstacles all her life, from her penniless youth in war-torn Italy to overcoming language barriers in Hollywood. Now dependent on 24-hour care, she found comfort in her family and the simple pleasures during her recovery. In a statement released several weeks after the surgery, Loren thanked everyone for the closeness and affection they showed her. She added that she felt better, but simply had to undergo rehabilitation and give herself a period of rest. Always humble, she was more preoccupied with how her accident had impacted upcoming professional events. With multiple fractures at 88 years old, even daily tasks posed challenges, yet Loren remained devoted to her art. As the year 2024 unfolds, the world admires Sophia Loren not only as a cinematic icon, but also as a paragon of resilience. Although she continues to recover, Loren is already considering future creative projects. Loren has never been defined solely by individual awards or films. At the 2014 Oscar ceremony, she expressed her eternal determination. The child of war reflected by saying that she had grown up during the war and that the only thing she dreamed of was surviving until the next day. She tried to use the miseries that everyone was going through during the war to create something positive. Decade after decade, even while carrying wounds that would exhaust much younger artists, Loren finds meaning through cinematic storytelling. Although Loren could have retired comfortably decades ago, she cultivated her creative spark until the end of her 80s. In reflecting on her enduring fame, Loren affirms that it is not a question of beauty, but of what she feels inside, her security, and her happiness. Indeed, the veteran recognizes the realities of aging, from reduced mobility to a changing appearance. Yet the inner confidence and warmth that captivated moviegoers in her early days remain intact over time. Now a revered grandmother and still recovering from recent injuries, Loren faces aging with grace. If this story changed the way you look at the legends of the silver screen and the resilience of the human spirit, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. We are excavating the history they tried to bury and honoring the icons who refuse to be forgotten. Let's plant the seeds for a more inspired future together. The next treasure from the archives of greatness will be revealed soon.